Hello and welcome. It's Saffron here, and this is Healing Womanhood. And today we continue our reclaim theme with reclaiming our stories. So, our stories are multiple. We have many stories of who we are and what we've been through for different aspects of our lives. Some of them conflict with each other, some of them back each other up, and they all sort of sit in our psyche to make up our picture of who we are as a person. And sometimes these stories are great and they really serve us well. And they're a natural thing. We want to make sense of our world, we want to make sense of who we are. So we tell a story that puts things into context, then often explains the way that we do things now. So, for example, I'm a very, very careful, cautious driver, and I will say to people, oh, well, the first time I didn't learn to drive until I was 30, and then the first time that I drove without my instructor, a lorry went into the side of my car on the M62, which is all true. And so that's the story that explains that I'm now a cautious driver. And that's fine for me because it doesn't actually stop me from driving. It doesn't stop me from being able to do the things that I need to do. But that's an interpretation that I've put on those events. I've linked those things together, and we do this in all different areas of our lives. We do it with our relationships, we do it with our work lives, we do it within our families, and everything really. Aspects of our personality we explain by saying, well, this is my story, and I am the end result of that story. And that's absolutely fine until we have stories that don't serve us or stories that hold us back. Or so say that a lorry went into the side of me on the M62 and I'd said, so now I don't drive on motorways, and that was really restricting my life and I wasn't able to go places that I wanted to go and do things that I wanted to do, then that wouldn't really help me. So my driving story kind of went on to I sort of pushed myself to drive and that didn't really work for me, and then I sat back and took a more gentle approach to regaining my confidence, and gradually regained my confidence to the point where I was able to drive to my dad's house in France, and at that point I felt that I'd recovered as a driver. And so that turns into a really empowering story from what could have been a really restrictive story. So what we're going to talk about today is looking at the stories that you tell, understanding the impact that they have in your life, and possibly reframing them, telling the story, coming up with a new story that serves you better in the places where the stories don't serve you well. So this is going to be a video that you can do for every part of your life, and the big parts that we just summarized: work, relationships, and then smaller areas like this certain interaction that I'm having with this person, or the way that I cook the dinner, or whatever it may be. So yeah, come back to this one time and again, and at this point maybe just get into your mind a story that you tell. So start with relationships if you don't have one already. Think about who you are in relationships and the story that you tell. What is your relationship history, and who has that led you to be in the present? Relationships are places where we can often have blocks going on, and things that make life a bit difficult for us. If you've got something more glaring where you've got blocks going on, then go with that to begin with. You can always come back and do relationships again another time. So let's get into the tapping. If you haven't tapped with me before, all you need to do is tap where I'm tapping and repeat what I'm saying. And we'll be starting on the side of the hand here, and we're going to start by saying, even though I've been telling this story for a really long time, and it's become part of who I am, that's okay. And I'm okay. And I love and accept all of myself now. Even though a part of me is starting to wonder whether this story might be holding me back, that's okay. And I'm okay. because I can explore that. And I choose to love and accept all of myself now. Even though I wonder if this story is really doing me any good in my life, or if it's actually restricting me in some way. I choose to love and accept all of myself now. Now I'm moving on to the points. This story, this tale of who I am, this explanation of how I came to be this way, this excuse that gets me out of things, it's been with me a long time. It feels like it's become part of me. I tell this story all the time. I feel really identified with this story. I feel like this story brings some meaning to the way that I am, to the way that I feel. But I wonder if it's helping me. There are some ways that it helps me. It keeps things simple and it keeps things easy. But maybe it restricts me. I'm open to thinking about that now. Are there ways in which this story restricts me? Are there ways in which it stops me from being who I want to be? Are there ways in which this story is not serving me? I'm ready to see those ways clearly now, without judgment and without criticism. A part of me created this story, and it did that to keep me safe. And I'm grateful to that part for creating this story and for trying to keep me safe. And I'm also ready to let that part know that it's time to let go of this story. That I can keep myself safe now in other ways. I no longer need this story. And I'm ready to move on from it. This story has been holding me back. And it's okay that that happened. Because sometimes that's what needs to happen for a little while. And it's okay to let go now. I'm ready to rewrite this story. Or to add a new chapter. I wonder if I'd like to reinterpret these events. I wonder if I'm ready to see them differently. Instead of the accident with the lorry making me nervous, perhaps it gave me confidence. Because after that, I could get through anything. I've been through some difficult things as a driver, so now I can do it all with ease. I'm ready to rewrite my story in the same way. I'm ready to create a new interpretation for these events. Maybe I'll write out my story and tell it as a tale. A tale of success and of courage, of resilience and strength. Perhaps that's what the story of my life is. A story of resilience. A story of amazing achievements. A story of success. What kind of story would I like mine to be? Perhaps a story of epic self-love. Perhaps a story of bravery and strength. I wonder who I'll choose to be in this new story. I'm ready to feel excited now about the freedom this gives me. Reclaiming my story is reclaiming myself. Reinterpreting the essence of who I am. Of who I choose to be in the world. I'm so excited about this opportunity now. Ready to reclaim my story. Ready to retell this tale. Ready to reinterpret. Ready to understand anew. This is my story, and I can be as free as I want to within it. This is my life, and I'm taking it back right now. Reclaiming my story, my life, and my joy. Take a deep breath. I hope that felt really good. It did for me, so I hope it did for you too. I would love to hear what came up for you there. And please do, at this moment, pause the video and write out your new story. Write out anything that came up for you while you were tapping, but write out your new story and read it to yourself every day. Reinforce that new interpretation of the events that came about in your life and how they made you stronger and more resilient and more brilliant and beautiful and the amazing human that you are today. And make sure that you include how amazing you are within that story, because you are. Just for doing this, you're incredible. If you're on the YouTube channel, you can migrate over to the Patreon membership for the extended version of this video if you would like to. And if not, I will see you in the next one. Just before I go in the Patreon, we're just going to be diving deeper into the work that we've done. We're going to look at any objections that come up to this rewriting of your story. So in EFT, we often call those the yes buts. So go over to the Patreon membership if you would like to combat your yes buts. And if not, I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.